Hi, I wanted to provide you with a little bit of information on how to navigate to the McGraw-Hill Connect and Learn Smart site that you have to use to do your assignments for this class. So I've opened up the Blackboard site to the front page of one of the iStudy classes, and I want to bring your attention to the tabs on the left side of the page. About halfway down over here you'll see one that says Connect and Learn Smart. That is a direct link to your Connect and Learn Smart site. You also have several other ways to access it. If we scroll down on the start page, you'll see down at the bottom an introductory module. If you open up the introductory module and again scroll down, you'll see a link in here to the McGraw-Hill Connect and Learn Smart page. Just above it, you'll see that there is an introduction PowerPoint to Connect and Learn Smart that I've provided that came directly from the publisher. Also, within each module, you will have assignments that take you directly to the Connect and Learn Smart pages. So Learn Smart Chapter 1, that takes you to a Learn Smart activity, and the Connect activity down here at the bottom. So you have several different ways to get to the Connect and Learn Smart website. I'm going to open up a tab up here that shows the student view of the Connect and Learn Smart. When you go to the home page, this would be a little bit different than if you were to go to one of the actual assignments. So I've opened up a Learn Smart chapter, LS Chapter 1. And on Chapter 1, it opens up to a smart book. This is the e-book or the smart book that comes with your access code. When you're on the Connect page, you can access it over here on the right-hand side as well. One of the things you'll notice is that this book is, all the text is pretty much faded out until you get to moving through the reading. You'll see areas that aren't faded out that are highlighted in yellow. Those are the areas that are supposed to be read and important right at the beginning of your reading through the chapter. Connect and Learn Smart, or the Learn Smart Smart Book, is an adaptive learning tool for you. It guides you through the reading for the chapter, making sure that you learn the material in an organized manner. So you start out by, in each chapter, reading the chapter, read the areas that are highlighted in yellow. Once you have been reading that for a while, the program will suggest that you do some practice. So down here in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see a tab for practice. And when you click on that, it brings up some flashcards with questions on them. So you read the question, you look for the answer, and down here at the bottom there are 4 buttons that you can click to let the program know how confident you are in your answer. And the program uses that information plus whether you get the answer right or wrong to guide you to the next topic that you need to study. When you're using this practice, you have access back to the textbook that refers to the information from this question. You also have slides available that will give you a synopsis of the information for this question. Once you've answered a certain amount of questions, it's going to suggest that you go back and read more. When you go back to the read area, you'll see that some parts of it turn green highlight. That means that you have mastered that material and should go on to another area that's in yellow. So for this smart book, it guides you back and forth from reading to questions to allow you to learn the material as you go through the chapter. So that's the smart book, the Learn Smart assignments. The second type of assignments that I have are Connect module quizzes. Each module has a quiz covering the material from the Learn Smart that was assigned for that chapter. When you open up the Connect quiz, it's going to tell you that it is a timed assignment. I give 60 minutes for each of these assignments. 60 minutes for 10 questions tends to be plenty of time, but if you feel you need more time than that, please contact me, especially if you have an ADA information. For the Connect quizzes, these are designed to be closed book quizzes, and as such, I take points off if you use the resources that are available to you in the quiz. You do have hints that are available, and you can go back to the ebook and reread sections to get the information to answer the questions. However, if you use those two resources or either of those resources, it does deduct 5% from your overall score on the Connect quiz. If you don't open those at all, it doesn't deduct them. I give you 2 attempts on the quiz. The first attempt, you get all of the questions, and once you've submitted them, you get information on your final score and which questions were right and which questions were wrong. On your second attempt, you start with only those questions you missed on the first attempt and correct those. So you have 2 attempts at this to get the maximum score possible. Make sure you study before you take these quizzes and make sure you're prepared for them. So that gives you a little bit of information on how to do the Connect and the LearnSmart assignments in this course.